Three, two, one.
Craig joined.
Now recording.
Hello, and welcome back to the Fight for Liberty podcast. I am your host, JJ, and I will be hosting alongside my wonderful co-host, Alfie.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Alfie. How are you?
Doing all right. Just relaxing, fighting for liberty.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I think it's been 1 week. We did not miss last week. We prepped the viewers
Yeah,
to miss.
we were good.
We're consistent. This
Yeah.
is the
Getting back on track.
Yeah, this is the last episode before Christmas. So that technically makes it our Christmas episode, our Christmas special. So Merry Christmas to all of our viewers.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching or listening or whatever you're doing, whatever platform.
This is our 11th episode.
Yes, 11 and Christmas. We're not doing anything special for the Christmas episode. I'm just saying that.
We should have had like Santa hats or something. Or maybe for just next episode, just for the festiveness.
There you go. Yeah.
Festive.
Yes. Next episode, we will have Santa hats. Or we'll try to have Santa hats. We might forget. Yes. I don't think there's any other news for the fans specifically.
Doing more of the little clips on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and is there another one? Instagram?
Instagram, yes. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts are where we have begun posting short form content pretty consistently now. And I will say, although we've had nobody write in directly, we have had quite a few comments on the short form videos, and we really appreciate those. So keep it up. We like hearing from the community, even if it's negative. We enjoy reading comments. I do, at least. So keep sending them.
Too.
Obviously, don't just send nonsense that is pointless. But if you have something to say, say it. Okay. Moving on. Let's get into the news here. This comes from CBS News. Trump administration unveils proposals to cut off transgender care for minors. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services on Thursday unveiled a series of regulatory actions designed to effectively ban gender-affirming care for minors, building on broader Trump administration restrictions on transgender Americans. The sweeping proposals include cutting off federal Medicaid and Medicare funding from hospitals that provide gender-affirming care to children and prohibiting Medicaid dollars from being used to fund such procedures. Quote, "This is not medicine, it is malpractice," Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said of gender-affirming procedures on children in a news conference on Thursday. "Sex-rejecting procedures rob children of their futures." That is a quote from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Thursday's announcements mark the most significant moves the administration has taken to restrict the use of puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and surgical interventions for transgender children. They would imperil access to nearly 24 states where drug treatments and surgical procedures remain legal and funded by Medicaid, which includes federal and state dollars. The proposals run counter to the recommendations of most major U.S. medical organizations and advocates for transgender children. And advocates for transgender children strongly refuted the administration's claim about gender-affirming care and said Thursday's moves would put lives at risk. That's a bold statement. Yeah, that's kind of a. We'll get to that. We'll get to that after we finish here. Quote: "The multitude of efforts we are seeing from federal legislators to strip transgender and non-binary youth of the health care they need is deeply troubling," said Rodrigo Heng Letin, Lieutenant of the Trevor Project, a nonprofit suicide prevention organization for LGBTQ plus youth, who called the changes a, quote, one-size-fits-all mandate from the federal government, end quote, on a decision that should be between a doctor and patient. Okay, so he's basically saying that the changes that they're making is a one-size-fits-all mandate, whereas it should be a case-by-case.
Muted. Unmuted.
It should be a case-by-case thing, is this guy's argument. Medicaid programs in slightly less than half of the states currently cover gender-affirming care. At least 27 states have adopted laws restricting or banning the care. The Supreme Court's recent decision upholding Tennessee's ban means most other states are likely to remain in place. Tennessee's law, known as SB 1, prohibits medical treatments like puberty blockers or hormone therapy for transgender adolescents under the age of 18, as CBS News previously reported. Tennessee, just the entire state of Tennessee, argued that it had a quote, compelling interest in encouraging minors to appreciate their sex, particularly as they undergo puberty, and in barring treatments that, quote, might encourage minors to become disdainful of their sex. Excuse me. But the proposed rules will likely further intimidate healthcare providers from offering gender-affirming care to children, and many hospitals have already ceased such care in anticipation of federal action. The article goes on to say exactly how it would affect, but it looks like pretty much all hospitals. It then goes on to say, Kennedy also announced Thursday that the HHS Office of Civil Rights will propose a rule excluding gender dysmorphia from the definition of a disability. I did not know it was qualified as a disability. In a related move, the Food and Drug Administration issued warning letters to a dozen companies that market chest-binding vests and other equipment used by people with gender dysmorphia. I did not know that existed.
Wait, hold on. Kenny also knows. Excluding gender dysphoria from the definition of a disability.
Yeah, so it was.
So what does that mean that it'll move up to or down to? Or where will it be?
Just mental illness, but not disability, as if like somebody who had no legs.
Okay, got it. My thought process of that would that mean, like, would people argue that it is a disability? Or on the, I guess, the pro LGBTQ side?
I would assume so. It was already qualified as one, I guess. I didn't know it was classified as one. I don't know if that means that they can claim disability checks, like reimbursements from the government. I don't know if it was that far of a disability, or if that just meant that.
I feel like saying it's a disability is like an insult, but at the same time, like I'm in my head, I'm thinking like maybe like claiming that disability, I guess, would like justify like giving like puberty blockers. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But again, I think the calling it a disability probably opened up for more treatment options to be available.
Yeah,
and also more than likely, like for example, the bathroom thing, I'm sure would be affected with what bathroom they use. For example, like a handicapped spot, I would imagine it would work similar to that, where because they are qualified as handicapped legally, they're allowed to use that restroom. And I'm sure if you're qualified as having gender dysmorphia legally as a disability, you can use whatever bathroom you feel like. If I had to guess, I'm sure that also has a part of it.
Yeah.
Either way, it's not qualified as one. I think it's only qualified as a. I think they actually qualified. Let me look it up. What before I put my foot in my mouth. It says here it is not considered a mental illness currently.
I think it used to be in the DSM-5. I think that's
It's
the
still
like official.
yeah, it still is. That's what this is saying right here.
I thought it was removed like years ago.
It says it's classified. Let me see when this was posted. This is January 27th, 2025, and it says it is classified as a mental health diagnosis in the DSM-5, but it is not considered a quote mental illness in the traditional sense. Most experts do not regard it as a mental illness, although it can lead to significant psychological distress and other mental issues such as anxiety and depression. Therefore, while gender dysphoria itself is not a mental illness, it can be associated with mental health challenges due to the distress it causes. That's how it's seen now on paper.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess it at some point got all the way up to a disability.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
That's interesting.
So it says alongside this, they also changed the FDA changed the Gender Bender LLC from making chest binder vests. So basically, it appears to be for women who want to, whether they're young women who are still developing or older women who simply want to suppress or make their breasts seem smaller, they'll wear a binding vest. And then I don't know, I'm sure it has some sort of effect on a growing child as well. Probably, I don't know. For some reason, it makes me. I don't know much about it, but it reminds me of like a Chinese foot binding. It's kind of what it sounds like, but for breasts.
Yeah.
But now those have been retitled and cannot be sold for the purpose of transgenders.
Is that what it's only used for?
It says that's what it was only used for, but now it's going to be reclassified to now it's being titled as recovery after mastectomy surgery, which is, let me see what that surgery is real quick. To the audience, we're not abundantly. Oh, so that type of surgery is a surgical procedure to remove one or both breasts, primarily performed to treat or prevent breast cancer.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was typically used for that, but it then started being advertised also for transgender people. And I don't know if that's transgender people post surgery or pre surgery. It doesn't specify. Either way, those are being reclassified. Dr. Mehmet Oz, the administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, on Thursday, called transgender treatments, quote, a band-aid on a much deeper pathology. That's what this individual was calling the treatments that they have now are proposing to ban. And it says, and suggested that children with gender dysphoria are, quote, confused, lost, and need help. I agree. I think that if a child feels that way, then they should kind of work through that instead of just jumping straight onto, well, let me block my own hormones and change my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like common sense to an extent, because like a child can't get a tattoo. That's a permanent thing. This is also a permanent thing. There's certain decisions that a child is not equipped enough to make, and I strongly believe that this is one of those decisions.
Def.
Polling shows many Americans agree with the administration's view of the issue. Okay. a bunch of people who were advocates against the transgender procedures are saying that they finally feel seen. Trump, apparently he has also signed orders aimed at cutting off federal support for gender transitions for people under the age of 19, and also barring transgender athletes from participating in girls and women's sports. The article kind of goes into a little bit more detail on what exactly that procedure would be for children. It looks like very rarely is it the actual surgery, and it is mostly hormone blocking and testosterone, or combined with either testosterone or estrogen, depending on which desired physical changes they want. So basically, they block puberty and then they force puberty, but puberty aligned with whatever gender that person wants to be, I guess. I don't know. So that's that. Overall, yeah, it just looks like, and that's probably going to happen. It looks like it's just a proposal right now, but chances are that will happen. What are your thoughts, Alfie?
I agree with the administration's decision to go through this. I mean, I feel like this is honestly a no-brainer, like you said earlier.
It shouldn't
Um,
have been allowed to begin with, to be
no, yeah,
honest.
definitely. I mean, it's just, I mean, irreversible changes are made. I mean, I think you have to be of a certain age if you want to make a decision like that. Um, I mean, I'm not really for it, period. But if you had to, weigh the two out, um,
If it's yeah, if
children
it's
are
something you really really want to do and you're a grown adult, who like it's not our place to tell you what you can and can't do. But children,
right.
but children, a child cannot consent legally. That is widely recognized across the entire, maybe not the entire world, most of the world, the entire country. It should be the whole world. But the fact that they were allowed to make this decision for themselves makes no sense to me. For so long as well.
Yeah,
How long was it legal?
I don't even know. That's uh, I gotta see. It was
Yeah, I agree to the viewer. I agree with Alfie. I think that it's about time. Again, I'm not really I don't really support it even once you're of age. But I think that it's very good that we're making the step in the direction to protect children. I believe that that is what this is. I think that this is protecting children. Um, I noticed I wanted to bring up a specific quote. Oh yeah, Rodrigo of the Trevor Project said excuse me, says that it's no, maybe not that person, somebody else. They said it was a life or death thing. Did they not? Did I make that up?
in the article. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Did not. I thought I saw something that I said I wanted to come back to.
Oh, it was about threatening lives. That's what it was.
I can't find it now. Well, did you find anything on how long it was legal?
I think it was kind of a complicated uh question with like a lot to it. Um, but like I was trying to dig for like an answer for like as we know it today, because like it was saying, oh, it dates back to 100 200 years ago, but I'm talking about like today in the U.S. in the modern
Yeah,
time as we know it. But
yeah. We're
the
talking
best
about
answer I could
okay,
find
okay, little
was like
kid.
the late
I'll let you,
90s.
I'll let you wear pants, daughter. You don't have to wear your long dress today. Silly. Shitley daughter. That was transgender affirming care 200 years ago.
Yeah. Um. Okay, let me find where that was. It was was it a quote by someone or here? Because there's one paragraph. It says the proposals run counter to the recommendations of most major U.S. medical organizations and advocates for transgender children. Strongly refuted the administration's claims about gender-affirming care and said that Thursday's moves would put lives at risk.
Yes, that's what it was. I to add on to or to address that point that that person made is
Oh, there was a
basically.
quote.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
no. I was just
Yeah,
gonna say there is a quote by someone named Rodrigo
yeah. I thought it was
King.
him that said. I remember reading that name. And I thought it was him that said the other thing. Who said the other thing? The lives at
It
risk.
that was
Just the
just the
article.
article saying it. It wasn't a quote, but there is
That was CBS.
a quote that's separate from it.
What's okay? Uh,
Do you want me to read that one?
sure.
It's the Rodrigo guy. He said the multitude of efforts we are seeing from federal legislators to strip transgender, non-binary youth of the healthcare they need is deeply troubling.
Okay, I see. I mean, to that person, if that's what deeply troubles you, so be it. Um,
Get a life. No,
yeah.
I'm
No, I mean, like, so,
well,
like,
kind of.
okay, you being deeply troubled is a small price to pay. Okay, who even are you? I have not heard
I
of
don't
you
mean to
before
be
this
mean,
article.
but like all seriousness, like that's really not priority
No, yeah,
at
that's what
all.
I'm saying exactly. To address the putting lives at risk, I think that is the I think that's part of the problem is these children or young teens or older teens even. This was all the way up to 18 and under, so anything in there. Uh I would say they are going through things mentally. That is true. That's irrefutable. They are then led to believe or take it upon themselves or get this idea in their head that they were born in the wrong body, etc. They need to get hormone treatment or else they won't feel normal. And then, oh, I don't feel normal, so I am extremely depressed and suicidal until I feel normal. And the only thing that'll make me feel normal is changing my body chemistry. That's the only thing that'll fix me. Otherwise, I am suicidal and I'm going to kill myself. That is not a good way of thinking. And I think that what Trump is proposing on doing with taking away that option for underage will cause them to hopefully get the help they need to where they aren't suicidal and reliant on this notion or this idea that they need to get this transgender operation or puberty blocking or hormones done, because in their headspace that's what they're thinking. That's what this article is referencing when it says putting lives at risk. It's not putting lives at risk because these people desperately need to change their gender. It's putting lives at risk because these people are not getting the mental help that they need, and it's causing them to be unstable, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I think that
So I just feel it's kind of dirty to use
more.
that as an argument.
Yeah, I mean, I think that more efforts need to be allocated towards helping mental health, like you were
Yes,
saying.
100%.
Um, I mean, like, it's just it's mind-boggling to me how we live in a time where like you just like if someone says they don't feel like what they are, you just throw them some puberty blockers and bada bing, bada boom. That's not how things should be. I mean, especially someone so young. I mean, it's uh, this administration's decision to go through with this is a step in the right direction.
I agree. I think it's about time. And again, I don't think
Yeah.
that it should have even been a question. Yeah.
No, yeah,
That's
it's
yeah. That's where we stand on children getting transgender operations to the audience, in case you guys were not aware.
yeah.
Um, anything else you'd like to say on the topic? I've said all I need to say.
Um, yeah. I just want to say that this is not the end of the world for people in that camp. Um, I remember seeing some videos of people complaining about this going on, and I just gotta say, you know, I mean, the ability to even get that as an adult is such a privilege.
Yes.
Um, I mean, to me, it's just nuts. Just thinking about like how people were really up in arms, in a way, about this decision
This
because
specific one about children?
yeah, because they were trying to like make it sound like it was like a domino effect. Like okay, this is gonna affect this and this, and it's
Mm,
gonna be really really bad.
I would say
Which
if it's any domino effect, it's a domino effect into straightening out laws of that type. Because
yeah,
I would say, yeah, I would say it is a domino effect in that way, but I don't think it's a domino
yeah,
effect in terms of
but like in a
societal
they're
effects.
saying yeah, but they're saying in like a really bad way.
Yeah, I don't.
Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. We're just very privileged as Americans, where we think like this is like some like right that we need, which I
People don't
think
have.
honestly we
Some people don't have food, and these
yeah.
people are
Some people are living in religious persecution, political persecution all
exactly,
over the world, and
exactly. Become
this is
get up in arms about them and not up in arms about a child not being able to change their body permanently. Um,
yeah,
I actually do have one more thing I want to say in closing to this topic. If you, I'm talking to you, viewer or listener, are struggling with thoughts that could be titled as gender dysphoria, or if you know somebody who is, just talk about it. Get help with somebody that you trust. Start a dialogue. Work through it. Don't make any decisions that you will regret for the rest of your life. I, for YouTube viewers, Alfie's cat is attacking him. Oh no, he's going to try to assassinate Alfie live on air right now. Oh, right for the eye.
Ooh.
Spotify listeners are missing out right now. Spotify listeners, switch over to YouTube to
Yeah. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
subscribe to our YouTube while you're there. Go look at Alfie being attacked. Okay, anyway. If you are having thoughts along these lines, or if you know somebody who is, get help. Talk about it. It's not the end of the world. You know, a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And when I say that, I'm referring to operations. I'm referring to puberty blockers, and I'm referring to suicide. I think that if
Yeah.
you're pondering any of those three, talk to somebody, because there are other ways, and those are not good. I urge you. And if you're not, then cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like you said, all of those things are permanent, irreversible.
Yes.
So please just get help. We care about the mental health of our viewers, but also of the world.
Yes. And to help your mental health, come over to our YouTube and watch Alfie's cat attack him, because it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next article. Trump signs executive order to reclassify marijuana as a Schedule 3 drug. This article is going to be covering two topics. They did not happen at the same time, but they are around the same style, and they happened very recently. Excuse me. So that happened, and another article that I will be co-reading back and forth is Trump labels fentanyl, quote, weapon of mass destruction. We'll talk about the weed first. President Trump signed an executive order on Thursday to reschedule marijuana to a lower drug classification, one of the most significant changes to drug policy in decades. Quote, today I am pleased to announce that I will be signing an executive order to reschedule marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 controlled substance with legitimate medical uses. Trump said in a ceremony in the Oval Office on Thursday, flanked by medical professionals. Quote, we have people begging me to do this, people who are in great pain. He then added, I think I probably have received more phone calls on this, on doing what we're doing. I don't think I have received any calls on the other side of it. So he hasn't received any calls saying, please just leave marijuana as a Schedule 1 drug. I'm not sure if this article talks about it, but I think Schedule 1 is along the same as like LSD, heroin, and
Yeah, all the bad boys.
yeah, like even cocaine I think is a Schedule 1. And I will say I don't think marijuana should have been in there. It is nowhere near as bad as something along the lines of heroin. Just looking at it factually, it should not have been in the Schedule 1. Let's see, continued.
I want
In my
to. I want to
opinion,
see like a breakdown,
of
all the schedule levels.
yeah, let me know because I'm kind of curious what the difference is between Schedule 2 and Schedule 3, and why it jumped to 3, not 2, or is there a Schedule 4?
Schedule 1,000,000.
What for? Schedule 1,000,000. It's just like table salt. um. Feel free to interrupt me if you find that, because I am curious what the different schedules are. The order directs the Attorney General to, quote, take all necessary steps to complete the rulemaking process to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug in the most expeditious manner, according to the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA. Schedule 1 applies to, here we go. Schedule 1 applies to substances with, quote, no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. It is also used for heroin, LSD, ecstasy, and marijuana. Yeah, I don't think that marijuana is on the same level as heroin, and I don't think that's ridiculous to say. The DEA says schedule.
Does heroin? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, does heroin have like an official or like a more scientific name, or is that what it is?
I think heroin's short for the scientific name, kind of like meth.
Okay. I'm like. Oh wait, no, I found it. Never mind. I was looking at a. I found a. Here, I'll screenshot it. I don't know how official, authentic this is, but I found one. Apparently, it comes from DEA.gov.
This is heroin, also known as diaclomorphine and diamorphine, among other names, is a morphine. So it's a morphine mixed opioid, and it's synthesized with the dried latex of an opium poppy. I did not know it was opium deprived. That makes sense.
The picture I sent is, I think, like before Trump did the reclassifying.
Should I show the? Yeah, I'm gonna show this on. Oops.
Yeah.
I'll show this on.
I don't know how official this. I mean, it says DEA.gov. I mean, I gotta.
Okay, let's
double
break
check
this down.
I just stumbled upon that.
Schedule 1. Substances defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. Examples. Previously marijuana. Marijuana will now be down in 3. Heroin, LSD, methaquoline, and POT.
LSD.
Schedule 2. Substances defined as drugs with a high potential for abuse, with use potentially leading to severe psychological or physical dependence. So Schedule 2 is worse than Schedule 1 then. Examples: cocaine, meth, and fentanyl. Fentanyl has also been reclassified, I believe, so we'll get to that in a second.
Wait.
Adderall.
Hold on.
oxycodone.
Wait, why is Schedule 2 worse than...
Okay,
Wait, that
wait,
doesn't...
wait. Excuse me, I misspoke. So I didn't misspeak. I misinterpreted. So it looks like Schedule 2 can be just as bad as Schedule 1. The difference is that in prescriptions, these can be used medically. For example, Adderall, certain forms of meth, are used medically, but they, when used quote unquote recreationally, they can be abused, and they have a very high potential of abuse, and they can have, they're very, very addictive. So I would say, so it is slight. I misunderstood. Schedule 2 is slightly better than Schedule 1. Schedule 1 is basically none of these can be used for medical, or again, excluding marijuana currently, can be used for medical purposes, and they're very addictive. Schedule 2, some of these can be used for medical purposes, but they are also very addictive. Schedule 3, moderate to low potential for physical dependence. Anabolic steroids, and ketamine. Schedule 4, chemicals
I don't
defined as
know a lot
drugs.
of these, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know
I'm
some of
just
them.
reading the ones I kind of recognize, and also that I'm not going to butcher the name of. Schedule
Yeah.
4, low potential for abuse. You got Xanax, that type of stuff. And Schedule 5, substances defined as drugs. So that's like what? Oh, cough medicine. Okay. Okay. I understand. Let me just make sure this article doesn't say anything crazy.
Wait, isn't Soma the drug in Brave New World?
Uh,
Well, that's gotta
I think
be.
it. I think it is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's obviously some distinction that I'm not aware of, but that's
Yeah,
kind of
it's a
funny.
fictional drug. But it
In the book, yeah,
in the
but I don't know
book
what it is
it's
in real life.
yeah. Maybe it's just the actual drug. Brave New to the audience who don't know what we're talking about. Brave New World is a fantastic book that we would both recommend you read.
Yes,
It's
very, very well written dystopian novel.
yes, highly recommend. And they have a drug in there called Soma. I think it's a drink, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Um,
I can't
I
remember.
thought it was a pill.
Maybe it was a pill. There was some
Maybe
sort
it
of
is.
fictional drink in there as well. I remember. I could be thinking of a different book, to be honest. Okay. Anyway, moving the drug to a lower schedule does not change the fact that it remains illegal for recreational use at the federal level, but it could open the door to more research into marijuana and expanded medical uses. It might also lower the tax burden for state licensed marijuana dispensaries in the dozens of states that have legalized the drug, since federal law bars businesses that sell Schedule 1 drugs from taking some tax deductions. Basically, rescheduling it to a Schedule 3 will help accelerate research, reduce stigma around it, attract new investment, and ease some of the tax burdens that have held the industry back. Okay, makes sense. The rest of the article kind of goes into a history of the marijuana within the legal system, and kind of all the way back to the 70s. So, if the viewer's interested in that, that's on CBS News. You can go look that up. Alfie, what are your thoughts on this reclassification?
It's kind of funny. I agree with reclassifying it, but I'm not 100% sure if Schedule 3 was the right uh level. Um
Where would you have put it?
I I don't know. I mean, the reading Schedule 2 and Schedule 3, I feel like there should be like a
And in between.
Schedule 2.5.
Yeah, Schedule 2 seems a bit too. I mean, in my personal opinion, Schedule 2 seems more severe. And Schedule
I
4
mean,
seems a little bit too.
yeah.
Schedule 4 is a little bit too lax. I think they probably put it in Schedule 3 because there's not a 2.5. Because 2, it is not on the
Oh,
same level as meth and cocaine.
yeah,
It's
that's my
not on the same
deterrent
level.
from it. Um it's more the examples that like deter me. Um I mean, I'm to the viewers. Me personally, I'm very against marijuana, but I don't think it's on the same level as cocaine or
No.
fent.
Yeah, no
Um,
matter how against it you are, just looking at it factually, it's just not.
yeah,
If you look at a
people
meth head and
people
a
take
pot
it.
head, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm just,
Yeah,
it kind of says all you need to hear. Sa-
yeah, yeah. Two completely different beings.
yes, very, very different.
Um,
Um, but I do agree. I mean, I would say three is
but like,
fair. I think three. I mean, what do you disagree with about three?
look at examples. I don't know if testosterone it's on par with testosterone
I don't know why
or certain
testosterone's in there.
steroid or
Do people
less than.
take testosterone recreationally, or are they only aren't they typically only taking it for performance boosting?
Yeah, I thought that too.
I've never
Is it
heard of
is
somebody
it
taking testosterone for the high.
is it it's also used for like puberty blockers, right? Or like kind of in that same category.
It's
Is
used
that
in within hormones for transgenders. It's used hormones for men. If you have low testosterone, it's used used outside of the medical field. It's used bodybuilders, people along those lines. UFC fighters, a lot of combat sports. It's very very much a performance. I don't really know why it's kind of a weird example. Same with anabolic steroids is also an
yeah,
interesting one to be. It's just not comparable to marijuana because no, they're not taking. You're not using it for the same reason. You're not using anabolic
yeah.
steroids for the same reason you're using marijuana.
Yeah, I think that
I think
definitely like
ketamine's
it's
closer.
used for what do you call it? Like for medical use because it could be like certain drugs, even like really not hardcore ones, but like more um on a higher intensity. I'll say prescribed for certain reasons. Like
Yeah.
for example, when I had my wisdom teeth removed, I was given some drugs, some prescribed that are like pretty high up. Like you could do some damage to yourself, but like they were only like given a small amount just in case like I was feeling some intense pain.
Yes.
So I definitely agree with like the idea of it being like more
Oh,
for medical use.
it should not have been in Schedule One, in my opinion. I
Yeah,
think
yeah. I didn't
that's
even know
really
that
severe. Yeah,
until this. Um,
that is very severe. It should not.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
just looking
really
at the
that's a bit
examples on
harsh.
3.
I think
Like
the
I don't
problem.
think.
I was thinking about this while you were talking.
Yeah,
I think that they're using these examples based off of the psychological effects of them, not the reason for taking them. Uh, so you could
yeah,
get a moderate to low potential for being addicted. So, for example, some people will get addicted to anabolic steroids where they're constantly chasing becoming bigger or something along those lines. But not everybody. Some people can just do a cycle of steroids and move on with their life. You know what I'm saying? Um,
yeah,
I think that that is a fair comparison. But I think that if you're looking at it, steroids and marijuana, that's kind of it's hard. But if you're looking at the psychological effects in terms of addictiveness, which I think that's all that the really it is. It's just psychological and the addictiveness dependence is what it's saying. Um,
yeah. The thing is, I'm trying to wrap my head around what
Testosterone's still really weird to me.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, I agree. But that's the thing is that like some of these like aren't really consistent. Like what you said, one and what you use them for. Or like excuse me, like yeah, like the consistency, like the reason you use them. Because I'm trying to wrap my head around what the schedules like, what it's based off of. Like, is it addictiveness? Is it damage to
Psychological
yourself?
and physical dependence, I think, is all that it's basing this off of.
That's all it's based off of.
Yeah, because like for example, under the
It
Schedule
did mention
Two,
that a lot in the just definitions, but
yeah, that's what causes me to think that because it
yeah,
says Schedules Two is defined as drugs with a high potential for abuse, with use potentially leading to severe psychological or physical dependence, and then it mentions things like meth and fentanyl. if it was judging those based off severeness to your health, those would probably be in the highest thing because those have severe negative impacts on your health. I think that the schedules are only basing it off of psychological and physical dependence, addictiveness.
Yeah, here I found some said versus AI. It says these levels are primarily determined by drugs acceptable medical use, potential for abuse, and the potential for physical or psychological independence. Okay.
Okay, so then yeah, it's
Um,
just. I think that's a fair. I think that's a fair
I
classification
was I
with
was
that in
kind of
mind.
yeah. Prior to digging into this, I was kind of thinking that it was about like how much damage it does to you, like in kind of a more broad way.
No, I think this is just talking about dependency, addictiveness, basically. And I think with that
Yeah.
in mind, Schedule 2 is a good spot for it. Personally. If you're looking at it just
Schedule
based off.
2 or Schedule 3?
Excuse me, Schedule 3. It's kind of weird having the higher number be more mild, in my opinion. It's confusing. It's backwards to me. I would imagine number 1 would be like, 1, most mild, and then the higher the number, the more severe it is. Like on a scale of 1 to 10 or something. It's kind of throwing me
Isn't
off.
the DEF cons are like that too,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
DEF CON 1 is the worst. DEF CON 5 is
Like, oh, DEFCON
yeah.
1? We're chilling. Just one? We got like 5 more to go.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
nuclear
everything's
missiles
like
are
burning
flying.
around. Yeah. The world is a shambles. Like, hey, we're just on one.
Yeah.
Okay, with that in mind,
Um.
of it being based purely and exclusively on addictiveness, now what do you think about the reclassification and where it was reclassified to? Well, I mean, you've already said about what you think about the reclassification. Clearly, it did not belong in 1. That is, if you think that it belonged in 1, I don't know how I can even change your mind because that's a really wild way of thinking.
Yeah. Um. How dependent do you become on testosterone? I mean, I'm still fixated on that because
Again, I think it's less the testosterone, more the what you receive from the testosterone, like bigger muscles, and then you become addicted to that.
but is that physical and or psychological?
It could be psychological,
It
yes. If you're
dependent.
addicted,
Dependent.
yeah. If you're addicted to something, then you're psychologically dependent on it. If you're severely addicted, then you're gonna be like, if I don't have this,
Well, I
I
mean, that
will.
could be anything. Though. I mean,
Yes, but
coffee
this
could be.
right,
Well,
but
not.
these have more. Yeah, yes, anything could be, but these have more
You're
evidence
saying like
backing the fact that it is more likely.
I see. I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
anything
then
could be
yeah.
addictive. If this one and even testosterone, this is moderate to low. That's so there's a low potential, so that's why you probably don't hear about it very frequently. But it does happen, so they can't put it in Schedule 4. That's again my
Yeah.
interpretation. I don't advocate. I mean, I do not use testosterone recreationally. Viewers, I've
Yeah. I'm kind of. I'm
had friends.
curious to see the addictiveness and or dependency of the other examples, not just testosterone, just because like I think marijuana is pretty addictive. I just don't. I don't know if it's on the same level as the examples in Schedule 3, but I definitely do think like
Do you
once you
think it's?
consume
Do you think?
meth,
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think it's on the same levels as the one in Schedule 2?
not really.
I'll
No, I
show this
mean,
again for the
I feel
viewers.
like I feel like it's kind of a
That's what
big
I'm saying.
gap.
I agree with you. I agree with that. Yeah, it is kind
I,
of a
I'm
big
I'm
gap.
inventing 2.5.
I'm showing it to the
I
viewer.
will I'll call the government right now and I will say you need to make 2.5.
Government, if you're watching, comment down below your contact information so we can make this happen. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair take on your end of I do think that Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 are both too severe. I think Schedule 3, I think that's probably fine. I think Schedule 4 is probably too lax, and there's not an in between. So I think Schedule 3 is fine where it's at, to be honest. Uh,
Hmm.
really, where the issue is gonna arise, or where it really
Never
matters,
telling.
is the recreational federal legalities. I think that's the big issue, and I think that this reclassification could lead to that. What are your thoughts on marijuana being legalized federally, recreationally?
Mm,
Because I think that this is a step in that direction for sure.
hold on. Um, I'm not really for the use of it. I think have it get banned. People. It's kind of like the thing. People do it anyways. I mean, if you do it, like if it was illegal, then like for recreational use, I do think that like, I mean, I don't know what a punishment would entail. I mean, I think that could be, you could get into like some pretty,
You're seeing a punishment currently.
like you could go too far, and I wouldn't like to see people in jail necessarily for smoking marijuana. Um,
It's good. I think it just hit majority of states. It's approved.
I
I could be
think
incorrect.
there's kind of like some levels with it. Either it's like it's banned entirely, for medical use
I'm
really
referring to
only, and
recreational. It being legal recreationally. You can walk into a dispensary at the age of 21 and purchase it. I believe majority it's legal in terms of states currently. I think where the
yeah.
only law stipulation is the amount, how much you can possess at one time. I'm not sure what. I think that varies state by state. Recreationally, because right now it is legal medically. Like if you have the requirements, so
Yeah. I
legally,
think some states have it banned entirely. I gotta look that up, but I thought,
I think so. Yeah, I think some of them do. Yes. Um. So you're saying basically your take is that you don't advocate for people using it, but you don't think that people should necessarily go to jail or prison for
well, I don't know how effective it would be to like
how
maybe
effective it
I
would be
would.
to lock people up.
No, well, how effective it would be to maybe I'd support like making it illegal to sell it, but if you're caught with it, maybe I don't know. Like I don't know. In my head I'm just thinking like it'd be kind of dumb just thinking like locking somebody up for uh or if you put them in handcuffs and locking them up for smoking marijuana.
So you're
Um
pro legalizing it recreationally for personal use. But
um
you're not saying that people should go out and smoke it and it's against your personal morals, but you think at the same time that people shouldn't be locked up for that.
well, kind of. I think that we maybe I think the government needs to like maybe focus on like I think efforts need to be done to make sure that it's not done as much, maybe making it less prevalent, but whatever that means, and or making it maybe like providing help for I guess if people seek it to get off of it. And I mean, I guess just different methods to, in essence, make it so less people are smoking marijuana. But I don't like the idea of, throwing someone behind bars for smoking it. I
That's
would,
yeah.
I don't like it, to be honest. But you gotta have a balance somewhere. Like you could definitely go too far. I don't like being too lenient on it. I feel like that's honestly the more popular opinion in the country, even just comparing both political sides. But that's just the way I am.
Personally, yeah, yeah. Personally, I think if you're gonna keep it illegal recreationally, make alcohol illegal recreationally as well.
I agree with that.
And I think
But
if you're gonna,
that's another one too, like on the same level. Sorry for interrupting,
no,
but
go ahead.
like it's the exact same answer I have with alcohol is that like I don't know how effective it would be at like enforcing that
It wouldn't be.
on like a
Look at the
like because
prohibition.
yeah yeah I was
Yeah,
about to say
yeah.
bro, is
Realistically,
that's my deterrent with like illegalizing it recreational, or like that's kind of the con I should say. um I don't know how it would be with alcohol, and but both alcohol and weed, like what those methods would look like to get people off those two things, because I agree. I firmly believe that both those things need to be stop being consumed.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't really know how that would work in terms of enforcing. I don't think that it is a good idea. Like realistically, what are the police gonna do? Go track down anybody who has a beer? Go track down anybody who has a joint in their ashtray? In their ashtray? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just it's both those things are pretty ubiquitous.
Yes.
So I just I don't I haven't really given this a whole lot of thought, but I definitely do think
You do
that
agree with the reclassification for the most part, though.
yeah,
Given the specific parameters and ways we label things now, you support where it landed with the options it was given. You just wish there was a point two or point five. Excuse me.
yeah, for 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah,
2.5. Oh yeah.
but yeah, but I mean, I think that simultaneously we need to, uh, like I said earlier, try to, as the government, try to um, get people off of both alcohol and marijuana, because I feel like those are both are pretty popular for use. I mean, like
Use or youth?
it's very common, huh?
Did you say use or youth?
Use,
Okay.
USE.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, because I feel like both those things. I mean, I hate both of them. Um, and like when I like just like they just both feel like so like common. Like, oh, I drank a beer or I smoked a joint. It's like it's pretty like down low just how common it is. Like compared to if you say like I just took some fentanyl, like it'd be like like totally different. Like
That's true.
whoa, like what?
That's true.
Um. So
I
yeah,
agree. Yeah, I think that's fair.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's fair. Uh, I agree with the reclassification. I think it should
yeah.
not have been a Schedule One. That is insane to me. Like, I don't know how it even wound up there. That makes no sense to me. Um, moving on to the second half of this mega article, as I said at the beginning, I completely forgot we had a second half of the article.
We yap for way too long. Well, you know what? We're educating the viewers though,
Yes,
because there was quite a bit I didn't know that I learned today. So
true. And to the
make it
viewers, if
smarter.
you've made it this far, longest episode yet. Looking at the time, we've been going
Yeah,
for like
I
58
just looked at
minutes.
that. Funny you
We're
mentioned
about
that.
to hit 1 hour for the first time in history on the Christmas episode. We did do something special for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Second half, he Trump relabeled fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. A new executive order seeking to uh, designate illicit fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction could open the door to dangerous expansion of militarized law enforcement and abusive military action. Um, the December 15th. This article comes from. I don't know where this
Human
article.
Rights Watch.
Human Rights Watch. I don't know where I got this article from. So,
That's what it says.
oh, excuse me. Directs the Defense Secretary and Attorney General to, quote, determine whether the threats posed by fentanyl and its impact on the United States justifies the Defense Department aiding the Justice Department and law enforcement. Whoa, I did not know that. That's crazy. So if they reclassify it as a weapon of mass destruction, then the military can help combat it like it's a weapon of mass destruction.
It's Schedule -5.
Yes. Dude, they start treating people on fentanyl like they have a bomb vest. They like tackle him, like tie him up like Hannibal Lecter, and, like wheel him away. It's just a tweaker on fentanyl. He had a weapon of mass destruction in his house. not to diminish the effects of fentanyl. It's a very severe and very bad drug. But come on. Could they get like a terrorist charge, like legally, because they had a weapon of mass destruction in their house?
Maybe. How could you imagine?
How
having,
carried
like,
away are we getting with this?
in your house? That'd be nuts.
Yeah, not just a drug charge, a whole terrorist charge. The order states that fentanyl has the potential to be weaponized for concentrated, large-scale terror attacks by organized adversaries. I think that's true. I think that's totally true. It totally has the potential to be weaponized for that. It would take a lot, and I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But fentanyl, I mean, looking at the effects of fentanyl and how little of an amount it takes to do a lot of damage, that's true. Since September, the administration has carried out more than 24 strikes on. Excuse me, I lost my spot. I'm sorry about that. More than 24 strikes on alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean and Pacific, resulting in at least 99 extrajudicial killings. I thought this article was about fentanyl. If the viewers are interested in that topic, I was kind of waiting for a little bit more information to talk about on the podcast on the drug boats and all of that. You can go ahead and do research on that yourself. I'm going to skim over that part and just get to the part about fentanyl to the viewers. The executive order is dangerous in the current domestic context, following months of National Guard deployments to multiple U.S. cities. While U.S. law enforcement agencies commit many human right. Okay, this article. I apologize to the viewers. This article has a lot. I did not pre-read this article, and this article has a lot of infactual, fear mongering, I should say, within it.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So take everything I just read from the article with a grain of salt. Do your own research. We urge you to do that. But basically what it boils down to is Trump's is attempting to reclassify fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction to then be treated as such due to fear and concern of it being used as a weapon of mass destruction in a controlled environment where, whatever, if you drop a bunch of fentanyl in a city, I don't know. I mean, if you just let it loose in cities where you just start giving it out to people, I'm not sure exactly how that would go down, but that's kind of the concern.
Yeah. I want to learn more about like what exactly that means, because obviously it's not like on par with having like some like super weapon, but and they're not gonna treat it out like that. But like I wonder like what that would mean on like the micro local level.
Yeah, like I'm curious what would happen to like a homeless man, for example, who has some fentanyl on him. Is he going to be arrested for possessing a weapon of mass destruction?
He like on federal court gets beheaded.
Yeah, yes. Lethal injection for having some fentanyl. This poor guy's like
Yeah.
he's out of his mind and confused.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I mean they're totally gone, like as a person by drugs,
yes.
completely destroyed.
Okay, here's a better article. Again, I sincerely apologize for that last article. It kept changing the topic there's a lot I didn't read out loud that are in my head, etc. I'm not even gonna get into it. It says 2 to 300,000 people die every year that we know of. So we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. And it is true that to add on to the 70% of the drug deaths in the United States are from fentanyl. That's a not so fun fact. Um, Experts say fentanyl would be difficult to use as a weapon of mass destruction because, yeah, there is one documented incident worldwide in 2002 which took place in 2002, where the Russian government weaponized fentanyl in gas form, but there have been no cases reported in the U.S. It is not evident whether there is a basis or need for or net benefit to officially designating fentanyl compounds as a weapon of mass destruction, concluded a 2019 report by the Center for the Study of Weapons of Mass Destruction at the National Defense University. Um, so it looks like from what I've seen, it's a little bit less kind of what we were imagining, where it's like, oh my goodness, you have fentanyl, you're a terrorist, and a little bit more like you're trying to bring fentanyl into the country, you're trying to bring a weapon of mass destruction into the country. Um, I think that is a little bit more fair than what we were thinking initially. Um, and I mean, I think it is a severe problem. It is causing a lot of deaths. Alfie, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Your camera. Oh, it's back. Never mind. Your camera was out for a second, but it is back now.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it's a little bit less on a personal scale, like what you and I were thinking. A little bit more on a people smuggling
Yeah,
it
I mean,
in. I think that's a little
yeah,
bit
I
more
mean,
fair.
realistically, there's no way they would like do that because like that one article, like it was saying, the first one, it was like almost like implying like it was just like justification for like just attacking anyone,
Right. And it's not.
which I don't think.
That's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, this the people of that article of that reporters need to do their accurate research.
Yes, that was clearly intended for fear mongering. Good thing we have caught ourselves because we at the Crusade of Freedom the and the Fight for Liberty podcast.
We should make our own news station.
Yes, yes. We are against fear mongering and we are against misinformation. We think that you should have the facts and you can do what you want with the facts in your head and how you react to them. So yeah, I think that's a little bit more fair. A little bit underwhelming. Clearly, bless you twice. A little bit
Thank you.
underwhelming. A little bit in terms of that headline, which made it seem a little bit more like, oh my goodness, weapon of mass destruction. I think it makes sense in the context that they're using it in. And I do think
Yeah,
that it should be cracked down on. It is a severe problem. Lots of people are dying from fentanyl. It is not a good thing. And it should definitely be taken care of. Anything to add
yeah.
on to that, Alfie?
No, I agree. I mean, it's something needs to be done about it. I mean, it's been really awful for so long, and um, I obviously wouldn't agree with our initial speculation around it,
No,
but
that would be severe.
but yeah, but I mean,
Maybe dealers. If you're a fentanyl dealer and you have a large amount, then yeah, I could imagine the military being involved in a bust or something like that. That would be a little bit more fair. But if you're just like if you've just bought some and you just possess it and you're addicted, you should not be treated like a terrorist.
no, I think you should be treated like someone who needs help,
Yes,
like a
you should.
rehab
Yeah.
individual. Yeah, that would. I mean, so far, I mean, based on what you've read and what we've seen, I mean, I agree with this decision. I mean, it's a step in the right direction, as it's displayed.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see, hour and 10 minutes. That seems like
We
a
did well.
excellent time. We have now broken an hour. You have just listened to or watched Fight for Liberty podcast history. Longest episode yet.
A milestone.
A milestone. First Christmas, longest episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for or listening or both. If you're, I mean, I say watching, but obviously you're listening to it as well. So I don't know why I say purely watching. You get it what I mean.
You should watch, though.
Yes, both are good, or both. You watch it and then you listen to it later. Watch it on YouTube and then you listen to it on a
Watch it
car
with
ride.
no audio.
Yeah, watch it with no audio and then try to guess. Do
Just
that.
guess what we're talking about.
Yeah, and then listen to it later and see how right you were. And like close your eyes and imagine each frame. Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget all the same stuff. Check out all the other social medias. I mean, you know what we're on at this point. It's all in the description if you don't. And we'll see you next time.